Welcome to part 2 of a 3-part series on the home buying process. In part 1, I basically discussed the pre-work that you have to do before actually going to speak to a mortgage loan originator to get you approved for a loan. The pre-work was you coming to me saying, Ashley, what are the steps of purchasing a home? And me explaining to you the things that you personally have to do or get yourself prepared to speak to a mortgage loan originator. We talked about assessing your credit, assessing your income, assessing your assets, and assessing your debt. Now that you've done that and you say, hey, Ashley, I've done everything. I checked everything off the list. I'm ready to speak to a mortgage loan originator. I'm ready to speak to one that can get me pre-qualified for a loan. I'm going to say, okay, well, I have a preferred lender that will be more than happy to help. So once we've done that, basically I'll call up my lender and we'll schedule a consultation to speak to him or her. Mortgage loan originators are pre-qualified. They are licensed professionals that are licensed to find companies that can provide you a loan. During this process, we are digging deep. They are getting to the nitty gritty of your business. They're all into it. So you have to be prepared to have honest and open conversation, or honest and open communications of everything that may pop up during this time. Now, me as your realtor, I would want to be involved in this process, but if you're not okay with me being in the process, then that's definitely fine. That's definitely fine as well. Because like I said, the professional is the one that's actually going to get you pre-qualified for the loan. Only a mortgage loan originator can get you pre-approved or qualified for a loan. So I don't have to be there, but I would love to, because I can share suggestions with you on things that my prior clients have done to get through this process. So let's start. When you have the consultation with the MLO, which is the mortgage loan originator, to discuss your assets, your income, your credit, and your debts. Let's start with the credit. So basically, they're doing the same thing that you have done, which is pull your credit. But they have a system to pull your actual mortgage FICO score. So once they've pulled this information, the actual information that they pull already has listed out your debts that are reflecting on your credit report. They also have a tool to simulate your credit score, the things that are on your credit report, and say, okay, Ashley, if you pay down this to a certain amount, this can get you here. So it gives you a visual on the things that you can do to actually boost your credit score. If it'll help you in the back end with a better interest rate. So that's the great thing of actually speaking to a professional, because they have the capabilities of doing that. You don't have the capabilities of doing that on your own when you're running your own credit score. So that's one of the things that they do. They assess your credit score, and then they review the things that are on your credit score and kind of walk you through the process on, okay, well, this is reflecting on time. This is not. If you pay this down, this will get your score to such and such. So a good mortgage loan originator will actually walk you through it instead of saying, hey, this is your credit score, you are not approved. You want to actually find someone that is passionate with what they're doing, because you can see the outcome. They hold your hand and they walk you through the process. So it's good to shop around for mortgage rates. If you are okay with the mortgage rate that you preferred from your first lender, then do that. But you have up to 30 days to shop around, and it won't show up as like 10,000 inquiries that are hurting your score. If you shop within that 30 days for a rate, then the pool shows up as one. So it shows as one pool that you're shopping for a mortgage rate. So 30 days is the actual time frame. After your credit, so once they've assessed your credit score, they've assessed your credit reports, the things that are showing, they'll walk you through the things that you should pay attention to, the things that you don't have to pay attention to. They'll inform you about all that. Once they have done that, they're going to review your income. When they're reviewing your income, they want to see W-2s, tax returns, pay stubs, like I said, paper trail of employment. They do not want to see lapse in employment. They want to see continuous employment. During this time, a lot of mortgage loan originators tell you, okay, it doesn't look good for you to switch jobs. You can switch jobs, but you want to make sure that the next job you go to shows benefits to the person that you're trying to get a loan from. And what I mean by that, if you're in a job right now, you're getting paid $19 an hour. You go to a job that's paying you $17 an hour. They don't want to see that. They want to see that you're leaving this employer because you had a better opportunity in pay, basically. So if it's something that's going to provide you more income, then it is okay to leave that employer if it looks good on paper. If it's going to look good on paper, then it's okay. The second thing that they're going to pay attention to is, okay, I said your income. They'll review your income. They'll look at your credit. They'll review your credit. They also want to look at, like I said, your debt to income ratio. This is the same mathematics that I informed you in the first video. So it's going to review. So you're basically calculating your monthly expenses, your monthly debts that are showing up on your credit report, dividing it by your income. So say you have 1,500 in debts. That's going to include your rent, your car payment, whatever credit cards you have. You're going to calculate all that, and you're going to divide it by your monthly income. So say you get paid $5,000 a month. You'll divide that $1,500 divided by 5,000. Once you divide that number, it'll give you your debt to income ratio. For an FHA, they want to see that that percentage is lower than 41%. For a conventional, they want to see that that percentage is lower than a 36%. Once they have reviewed it and they show that it's lower than those than the debt to income percentage, then okay, like I said, you're one step closer on actually purchasing a home. So they've assessed your credit, they've assessed your income to show that you've been working for at least 2 years. They've assessed your debt to income ratio to show, in fact, that your debt does not supersede the income that you receive monthly. It shows that you're still able to pay a mortgage after you paid all the debts that you've received. Now they're going to look at your assets. So this is the same thing that I informed you in the first video. Your assets is showing that you have money saved up in your account to purchase a home. Rule of thumb, most FHA loans require a 3.5 down payment. And I speak on FHA because a lot of times that's what a lot of my clients are approved for. Not saying there are benefits on FHA versus conventional. At this time, this is your opportunity to ask the mortgage loan originator which loan will reflect positively for me, which loan will benefit me, and they'll be able to illustrate that to you. So during this process, this is your opportunity to kind of ask the mortgage loan originator which one is more beneficial for me. Right now, FHAs are flying through the roof. A lot of people are getting approved for FHAs. So I am very familiar in the FHA realm. So with FHA, the debt to income ratio is at least 41% or lower. And the down payment amount, they want to see at least 3.5 down payment in your account. So that's the money that you're going to have to pay upfront for your mortgage. Like I said in the first video, they want to see this in your account showing in good standings for at least 2 months. They want to see that you're able to save a large amount of money without spending it rapidly. So be prepared to show a paper trail of that bank account for at least 2 months during the pre-approval process. If you do have large deposits, if you do have large withdrawals, be prepared to have open conversation with your lender or with your mortgage loan originator on what this large withdrawal was spent on, or where this large deposit came from. So be prepared to have that type of conversation when you're in this when you're in the step of purchasing a home. Another thing that you want to have in your account, not only your down payment, because the down payment, like I said, is for the loan. You want to have money to put towards your closing costs, whatever that may be. Down payments are non-negotiable. Closing costs are negotiable. And what I mean by negotiable, a lot of times you can negotiate with the seller to pay towards that closing cost, or you can't. Closing costs are much more negotiable than it is with down payments. Down payments you cannot negotiate, because that's basically you coming out of pocket to get a certain amount of money from the bank. So that's non-negotiable. For the closing costs, so before I get to closing costs, I apologize. So what I mean by 3.5%, say you're purchasing a home for $200,000. In order to get the amount of what you need for your down payment, times that $200,000 times 3.5%, and that will give you the amount that you need to start with to have as a down payment for your home. In addition to that, you want to have some money for your closing costs. And not even for your closing costs, because you need money for your just expenses in general, because you're going to need money for inspection as well. And that I will explain to you in the third video of some of the things that you're going to have to be ready to pay out of pocket for when you're in the process of purchasing a home. So for closing costs, I say as a rule of thumb to have at least an additional maybe 2% in your account to put towards your closing costs. And that goes for the appraisal, your taxes, HOA, things that have to do with closing out this deal. Your stamps, your deeds, all those things you just have to be prepared to pay in your closing costs. So add another like 2% of whatever that purchase price is to the side as closing costs. So while you already have your down payment in your account, you want to continue while you're going through this process to save money for your closing costs. So be prepared for that. If you want like a more in-depth idea of what that closing cost may be, in the third video, once we start the shopping process, I'll explain to you how you can go to your lender, whoever's going to provide you the loan, and say, hey, can you give me an estimated closing sheet so I can have an idea of how much I'm going to be paying for closing. So a lender is the only person that can provide you the estimate of the actual closing costs. If my client wanted an estimate of how much it'll cost to close on this house, I would reach out to the lender and say, hey, can you provide me just an estimate of the closing costs? And they'll be able to provide it for me. So during this process, you are going to become best friends with the lender that you're working with. So you want to find someone, like I said, that's passionate with what they're doing. And if you're someone like me that has 1,000,001 questions, you want to find someone that's also patient in what they're doing as well. But you don't want to waste people's time. That's why I say do the pre-work in advance so that they can see, in fact, that you are really prepared. Like, I like to show good face. When I want to go after something that I really want, I try to do as much pre-work as possible so that they can see that I have all my ducks in a row and I am in line with whatever you throw at me. Whatever you throw at me, I'm ready to receive because I've done all the pre-work in advance. So if it's one or two things that I'm missing, I know I can get it like this so that I'm not withheld or pushed back from the process of actually becoming a homeowner. So be prepared to actually have some closing costs or closing money to the side as well. During this process of once they have assessed your credit, your income, your debt to income ratio, your assets, the good news, the thing that you want to hear once the lender has assessed all these things is, Ashley, you've been pre-approved. That's the time to get excited. Like, I would be like, what? Oh my, I didn't even know I could purchase a home. Oh my God, you just said I was pre-approved. That means I'm so much closer to purchasing a home. Oh, that's the first time I heard that, I almost like cried. I'm just like, what? I thought this process was going to be a lot difficult than it really is. But like I said, if you get your ducks in a row, It can be easy. It can be an easy process, but you have to discipline yourself. So once you get that pre-approval amount, now it's time for you and your lender to talk. Because it's great to get a pre-approval amount, but you want to be able to get something that you can afford. So, and what I mean by that, now that you got pre-approved, this is your opportunity to tell the lender, okay, yeah, I'm approved for $350,000, but if I get a $350,000 house, how much is that going to cost me monthly with all the taxes, fees, and and principal? That's their opportunity to kind of break it down to you. So they're going to say, okay, well, Ashley, yeah, you got approved for $350,000, but your payment every month is going to be $2,500. And this is just me throwing numbers out there. If you're not comfortable with that, you can say, okay, well, yeah, I don't need a whole $350,000. Yeah, it'll be great. I can have a huge house, but I can't afford that every month. Like, I need something that's close to how much I'm paying every month in rent. So he's going to say, okay, well, yeah, we can lower that amount. I can send you a pre-approval for $280,000. This is how much your down payment will be, and this is how much your monthly payment will be with your principal, your taxes, your fees, your HOA. So now you have a more a better idea, or something you feel comfortable with paying monthly. So that's your opportunity to kind of go through that spiel. Your lender will be able to go ahead and explain or get you to somewhere that you feel comfortable paying every month. Get you to a number that you feel comfortable paying every month. Once you have done that with the lender, now you're going to give that lender a break. Your lender is now going to send me an email or send you an email and say, hey, Ashley's been pre-approved for $280,000. You are good to go shopping. So that's what our next video is going to be about. The actual process once you receive that letter that you've been pre-approved. I hope this video was helpful. Again, this is a 3-part series. I have to break it down to you, but as you can see, once you've done the pre-work, this stage is going to be a piece of cake, because everything that you've done in the beginning in step 1, you're basically just doing it again with a professional. You're doing it with someone that's actually licensed to get you pre-approved for a loan. You have now an idea of your buying power. You have an idea now of what your monthly payments are going to be once you purchase a home. So now you feel comfortable and you're ready to go shopping. And that's what our next video is going to be about. The consultation with an actual realtor, now that I've received your pre-approval letter. So stay tuned. I hope this video was beneficial to you. If you have any questions or concerns with anything that I discussed, feel free to comment below. Feel free to inbox me or call me. If you want me to go into more detail on one of the things that I have hit on, like I said, do the same steps. Call me, email me, inbox me. I am open to feedback. If you like the video or you know someone that is in this process, feel free to send it to them so that they can get information from all different aspects. And now you're even more closer to purchasing a home or becoming a homeowner. Now it's time to go shopping. Now we're going to go look at some homes. Now we're going to talk about what are your needs and wants. The next step is what gets me excited, because now you're giving your lender a break and you're coming to me. You're my baby now. So we get to build a huger bond. So be prepared. Look out for the next video, the last and final video. You're going to see, like, I'm going to be smiling from ear to ear because this gets me excited. This is what I love to do. Look out for the 3rd video. It'll be launching soon. Ashley the Realtor here. Bye.
Trying to figure which deal I'ma take. I woke up, couple meal on my plate. Let's eat. I'm investing in real estate. I just